In the realm of courtroom battles, some cases take a dark turn, as dangerous killers face the wrath of grieving families. From Lindy Jones, charged with the loss of Willie Antoine Fields, to Frank Dillon Jr., who tragically ended Diamond Alvarez's life, and Tristan Laro, whose actions shattered Misty Lamro's family. These courtroom confrontations are filled with heartbreak, anger, and chilling indifference. Brace yourself for the intense emotions and shocking encounters of dangerous killers getting attacked in court. Meet Lindy Jones, a 19-year-old who found himself in a really tough spot down in South Carolina back in August 2019. It's a story of heartbreak and tragedy, with Lindy facing serious charges for the loss of 18-year-old Willie Antoine Fields. Amidst all the legal proceedings, the pain of loss echoes through the courtroom, especially from the heartbroken mother of the victim, Angela Fields. She bravely shares how Lindy's actions have torn her world apart, leaving her with unimaginable grief.
Sir, back off, back off, sir, back off, back off, back off, sir. Back off.
Lindy's brother, Jalen, is also in the mix, adding to the complexity of it all, and it doesn't end there. Another heart-wrenching tale unfolds as Diamond Alvarez's family faces the trial of Frank Dillon Jr., who tragically took Diamond's life. The courtroom becomes a battleground of emotions as Diamond's mother confronts Frank, only to be met with a chilling smirk. The tension escalates, leading to a chaotic scene as emotions overflow, with families torn apart by grief and anger.
Horrible, because I wanted to be for her to the end, but for our safety, we decided to stay home. What I'm going through is not a life that I have to watch my back, that I can't go nowhere because we're scared.
And they're ready to heal.
I just want peace.
Then there's Tristan Laro, a 25-year-old caught up in a grim situation in Utah. His actions have left Misty Lamro's family shattered, with her brother, Jason Wilson, bravely speaking out about the impact of her loss. But Tristan's demeanor in court adds another layer of disbelief to the already harrowing situation, as he seems detached from the gravity of his actions.
Wilson lunges at Lamro, but his lawyer pushes Wilson back against the barrier. Lamro stands up as if he's ready to rumble, but a deputy slams him to the ground and away from the melee. Chairs are left spinning as deputies drag Wilson to the floor and restrain him.
Finally, the chilling case of Michael Madison sends shivers down the spine. His heinous crimes leave a community reeling in shock and horror. Even as the courtroom tries to maintain order, Michael's unsettling smirk in the face of his victims' families only adds to the anguish. In the end, amidst all the pain and chaos, justice strives to prevail. But these stories remind us of the raw emotions and deep scars left behind by senseless acts of violence. Michael Madison, a convicted criminal, was sentenced to death for his crimes, which included 3 counts of murder. His sentencing brought a sense of closure to the victims' families, although they continue to grapple with their loss. Madison is currently on death row. In another case, an 18-year-old named Piton Gendan, who identified as a white supremacist, opened fire at a predominantly black grocery store in New York on May 14, 2022. Tragically, 10 people lost their lives, and 3 others were injured before Gendan was apprehended. The victims' families expressed their grief and anger towards Gendan during his trial. During the trial, a family member of one of the victims shared her heart-wrenching story. She described the pain of losing her daughter, Robbie, who was young, unmarried, and childless. Robbie's death has left a permanent scar on her family. Another moving statement came from Barbara Massey, whose sister was killed in the shooting. She expressed her anger towards Gendan and the pain his actions had caused her family. Gendan apologized for his actions, expressing regret and acknowledging the pain he had caused. However, his apology could not undo the damage he had inflicted. The judge eventually sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In a different case, Larry Nassar, a sports doctor at Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics, faced multiple charges for sexual abuse. Despite his initial denials, the truth eventually caught up with him, and he was arrested. His victims bravely testified against him in court, and their parents expressed their anger and disgust towards him. One parent shared the tragic story of her daughter, who took her own life in 2009 due to the pain caused by Nassar's abuse. The parent requested a private moment with Nassar, which was denied by the court. Nassar eventually eventually apologized, but his words fell short. The judge sentenced him to a lengthy prison term, stating that his actions were inexcusable and that he posed a danger to society. A judge known for her belief in rehabilitation sentenced Larry Nassar to 175 years in prison. She noted that his actions were calculated, manipulative, and despicable, and didn't believe he could be rehabilitated. This effectively meant that Larry would spend the rest of his life behind bars. In a different courtroom, Vashon Flowers was facing charges for murdering his wife, Jamie Thomas Flowers, over a disagreement about smoking. During the sentencing, the victim's son, London Thomas, couldn't contain his emotions. Vashon was eventually sentenced to life imprisonment.
More than a scuffle, a near full-on brawl in court Wednesday as the family of DeRay Robertson, who was shot to death execution-style, went after the man accused of so brazenly and heinously killing Robertson. Jeffrey Clark in court charged with, among other things, first-degree premeditated murder.
A 15-year-old named James Douglas Gonzalez was in court for killing Edward Hall. The jury found James guilty of negligent homicide rather than murder. This verdict enraged Edward's younger brother, Kevin Hall, who caused a scene in the courtroom. Kevin was sentenced to 5 days in jail for his actions.
Kevin Hall leaps from his seat and over a partition to charge at Gonzalez and lands a punch to his face. Dad, Matthew Sr., soon joins the melee.
Dwayne Smith was in court for the sentencing of Clifford Thomas, who, along with his girlfriend, was arrested for killing Dwayne's 3-year-old daughter, Jamela. Dwayne approached the stand to deliver his victim impact statement, but instead attacked Clifford. The court session had to be rescheduled, and Clifford and his girlfriend were later sentenced to up to 15 years in prison.
During the sentencing for a 3-year-old girl's death, a brawl broke out in a Detroit courtroom when the girl's father attacked Clifford Thomas, the man responsible for killing his daughter, Jamila.
Lastly, Dale Williams was facing charges for murdering his ex-girlfriend, Elizabeth Pledger Stewart, in June 2017. During the court session, the victim's sons disrupted the proceedings, resulting in the police using tasers to restore order. The session was rescheduled and Dale was eventually sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. The victim's brothers also appeared in court, and Dale continues to serve his sentence in prison.
Today was a much different scene for Williams' sentencing. He was convicted of running Pledger's car off the road in June 2017, causing her to crash along a busy street of Market Street in Youngstown. He then shot and killed her on the sidewalk, all during the morning rush on camera. His sentencing today comes 2 years after he pleaded guilty to killing Pledger. This trial has been very emotional, with tensions running high.
When justice is being served in court, emotions can run high. This is especially true in cases involving violent crimes, such as murder. Family members and loved ones of the victims often attend the court hearings, and their grief, anger, and frustration can sometimes lead to unexpected and dramatic incidents. Support and empathy play a crucial role in the emotional reactions witnessed during sentencing. Family members, friends, and loved ones of the victims often attend the trial to show solidarity and provide emotional support. They stand as a united front, offering comfort and understanding to those who have suffered. Witnessing the pain and suffering endured by their loved ones can evoke strong emotions within them as well. The courtroom becomes a space where empathy is palpable, and the collective support can provide some solace amidst the anguish. If you enjoy our content and would like to stay updated, we'd be thrilled if you could hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. Thanks for your support.